Hola, estudiantes. Verbos con distinto sentido en el pretérito y en el imperfecto. Verbs with different meaning in the preterite and the imperfect. There are a few Spanish verbs that when you conjugate them in the imperfect and you conjugate them in the preterite, it changes what the verb means. We're going to make a T-chart. I'd like you to put imperfect on the left side and preterite on the right side. And then these are the 5 verbs that we're going to cover. So you're going to have a total of 5 spots on the left and 5 spots on the right. So the first verb is saber. When I conjugate saber in the imperfect, it means knew. Por ejemplo, ¿sabías que el concierto empezaba tarde? Did you know that the concert started late? If I conjugate saber in the preterite, it means found out or learned. Sí, supe ayer que empezaba tarde. Yes, I found out yesterday that it started late. Or yes, I learned yesterday that it started late. The next verb is going to be the verb conocer, and when you conjugate conocer in the imperfect, it means knew somebody. Por ejemplo, Pedro conocía muy bien a esa actriz. Pedro knew that actress very well. But if you conjugate conocer in the preterite, it means you met somebody for the first time. Luis la conoció el año pasado. Luis met her last year. The next verb is querer, and when I conjugate querer in the imperfect, it means wanted to. Luis quería comprar las entradas hoy. But when I conjugate querer in the preterite, it means tried to. Yo quise comprarlas, pero me enfermé. I tried to buy them, but I got sick. No querer. When I conjugate no querer in the imperfect, it means didn't want to. Por ejemplo, no querían ver esa obra de teatro. They didn't want to see that work of theater. If I conjugate no querer in the preterite, it's refused to. No quisieron ver esa obra de teatro. They didn't want to. And they not only didn't want to, but they refused to see that show. Y finalmente el verbo poder. When you conjugate poder in the imperfect, it means was able to or could. Por ejemplo, ella podía aprender la letra de la canción. She was able to learn the lyrics of the song. Or she could learn the lyrics of the song. When I conjugate poder in the preterite, it translates as managed to or succeeded in. Ella pudo aprender la letra de esa canción. She managed to learn the lyrics of that song. Or she finally succeeded in learning the lyrics of that song. There was more effort involved. All right, I'd like you to number 1 through 5, please. And we're going to do a little bit of practice. Número 1. If I wanted to say, I didn't know him very well, would I use the preterite or the imperfect of saber? You should have written down the imperfect. Yo no lo conocía bien. All right, número 2. If I want to say that I met him last week, would I use the preterite or the imperfect of the verb conocer? You should have written down the preterite of conocer. Lo conocí la semana pasada. What if I wanted to say that she wanted to learn how to dance the tango? Would I use the imperfect or the preterite of querer? For número 3, you should have written down the imperfect. Ella quería aprender el tango. What if I wanted to say, I finally managed to learn Spanish, but it took a lot of effort? Would I use the imperfect or the preterite of poder? You should have written the preterite of poder. Finalmente yo pude aprender el español, pero tomó mucho esfuerzo. It took a lot of effort. And then número 5. If I want to say that they wanted to go to eat something, would I use the imperfect or the preterite of querer? You should have written down the imperfect. Ellos querían ir a comer algo. Hasta luego, clase.